In today's Leeds news, more to do, says Justin. Academy results. The weekend's loan watch. Okafor feels belief in him. Carl Darlow's future. Leeds interest in Ladislav Krejci. And rumour mill stories on Gustavo Hamer. Hiya folks, welcome to the Leeds View for your news on Monday the 20th of April, and yeah, you heard it right in the headlines. Gustavo Hamer's name is back up and popping around for Leeds United. It's at the very end of the video. We'll cover it off, we'll see what happens. A bit of stuff to get stuck into today after a very positive weekend so far for Leeds United. Fingers crossed West Ham have a poor night at the office tonight, and we will be in a much stronger position moving into Wednesday night's game against Bournemouth. If you could support us over for analysis, if you want to as well, we're using Finalysis ratings for our channel ratings for players moving forward. It'll also be part of our player of the year for next season and this year as well. So if you want to get involved in this, it's a completely free app. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen just there, or you can use the link down below in the description. You can follow me over there as well. I'll put posts and polls out there as well. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you can get involved. You submit the player ratings, we'll use them on the channel then. So it's completely fan-led. So you can check that out if you want it. Right, let's move on and start today with James Justin's comments and a bit more work to do for Leeds United. We took a huge step forward towards safety over the course of the weekend, especially over the last two games. But we're very close to being able to finish off this job. If Leeds can get a positive result against Bournemouth and then against Burnley, job should be just about done. But it's not 100% mathematically safe at this point. There is still 15 points on the table, and there's been signs of life around the bottom half of the Premier League. So there is still a bit of work for Leeds United to do, and we're very close to getting across the line. But James Justin also believes another 3 points wouldn't go amiss right now and could just be enough to get us over the finishing line, and then we can all sit back, relax and enjoy the run-in. Speaking at the weekend, Justin said the following: with the win, it gives us a nice cushion, but I think we might need another win to keep us safe. And I do think he's right. West Ham, if they were to win tonight, it gets a bit tight between us and them yet again. Nottingham Forest had a very strong win at the weekend as well, which again keeps it pretty much as it was with us. And then Tottenham Hotspur, despite the fact that it was a draw, well done Jorginho Rutter, they did show signs of life in that game. So they might just still need a little bit to get over. Now, the next 3 or 4 games for the likes of Forest and West Ham are really tricky. So if we can stay the course now, get a good result against Bournemouth, and then beat Burnley at home, we should be home and dry. But it's not just about results, it's also about momentum at this point of the season as well. We've been on a very good run right now. If we can carry that in and out of Bournemouth into the weekend then in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea, it'd be a fantastic position to be in. Now, James Justin has had an absolute phenomenal season for Leeds United this year. He's been a brilliant signing for the club. People always talk about buying other clubs' rejects and buying players from lower divisions or players that weren't successful in the Premier League, and we've had several now this season who've looked really, really sharp, and it might be a case when we get to transfer links that pops up again. But we'll move on and talk about the academy results over the weekend. Right, 2 academy results to bring you up to speed on. The Leeds United under-16s were in action, and they beat Sunderland 4-3 at home over the course of the weekend. The under-18s, however, not a great weekend for them. They suffered a very heavy defeat to Sunderland away, losing 5-1. The goals for Leeds in that game came from Kark in Jenko. But we move into the weekend's loan watch. Larry Ramzani will play tomorrow night for Valencia, who will take on Real Mallorca. No Mateo Joseph in that side as his season is now over. Isaac Schmidt was an unused substitute for Werder Bremen in their 3-1 home win over Hamburg. Max Fober made the bench first game in a while, but was an unused sub in the exact same game. Jack Harrison plays tonight away to Lecce for Fiorentina, but he did start and play 90 minutes for Fiorentina in their Conference League win over Crystal Palace. Joe Gelhardt started and played 75 minutes for Hull in their 1-1 home draw to Birmingham. Joffrey scored in the 24th minute. Harry Gray, 90 minutes for Harry in a man-of-the-match performance, and scored Rotherham's first in their 2-0 home win at Leyton Orient. Rory Mahadi was an unused substitute again for Scunthorpe as they drew 1-1 away with Wealdstone. Darlow Lombang on the bench for FC United of Manchester as they lost 1-0 at home to Hyde United. Alex Baird had 90 minutes in goal for Bridlington Town in their 1-0 away win over Blight. Conor Douglas started, played 67 minutes and got an assist for Buxton's second goal in their 4-0 away win to Curzon Aston. And Kenneth Mensah was not part of the Scarborough Athletic lineup in their 2-1 win over Merthyr. Don't have an update on what was going on with Kenneth Mensah or why he wasn't in the squad for that game, but he has been part of their last few squads and has been getting minutes as well. So yeah, we'll keep an eye and see if there's an injury there or if there was something else going on, but we'll get you an update on that as and when we get it. But we'll move on and talk about Noah Okafor. Another goal and an assist for Noah Okafor over the weekend, and a very strong performance again from him. And this season, he has clocked in with 7 goals and 3 assists in all competition, double-digit goal contributions in his first season in the Premier League. It's his best goal contribution season since his final year at Red Bull Salzburg back in 2022-2023. But he doesn't believe that it is a coincidence, and there are some things that line up between Leeds and Red Bull Salzburg. Okafor believes that manager Daniel Farke's confidence in him has been a major factor in giving him the platform to perform this season. He was speaking about it after this weekend's game, and he said the following: "I'm a player who needs lots of confidence to perform, and this I felt from the first day I arrived in Leeds from Daniel Farke. He gave me the confidence. When I do things good, he tells me straight, and when I need to improve, he tells me. So I feel really confident from him." He's hit his top form at the right part of this season. He's got, 5 goal contributions in his last 3 games for Leeds. He's going to be a very important player in the running. James Justin spoke about him as well and said that it's vitally important that we keep him fit between now and the end of the season if we are to fulfill our goals. And that'll also include maybe nicking in to the FA Cup final as well. So, yeah, hopefully more to come from Noah Okafor at this very, very important point of the season. Let's move on and talk about Karl Darlow's future. Another massive save from Karl Darlow at the weekend, but there is talk about his potential future. As we know, Karl Darlow is out of contract at Leeds this summer, and at the moment there isn't any sign of a new deal being put in front of him. Although you'd imagine, given the performances he has put in this season, it's a no-brainer for Leeds to offer Darlow an extension. But according to Mike McGrath in the Telegraph, he says that Tottenham Hotspur are interested in bringing the Welsh number 1 in this summer. And in the piece, McGrath lines out some of the reasons why they are targeting Karl Darlow, and the main one being they want to sign a homegrown goalkeeper this summer, and Karl Darlow ticks that box for them. But they also want to add some competition in the goalkeeping position, and they're expected to lose one of their goalkeepers as well this summer. But Spurs have already been busy in the transfer market for next season. They've already agreed a deal with Andy Robertson to come in from Liverpool. They've also agreed to sign Marco Senesi from Bournemouth. And according to McGrath, Karl Darlow is also on that list, although he's one of several goalkeepers that they are said to be keeping an eye on this summer. James Trafford is the other one that they are looking at, and he also ticks that homegrown goalkeeping box, although they're expected to have competition from Leeds, Aston Villa and Newcastle on that one. Vicario is expected to leave the club this summer, so they do need to restock the goalkeeping positions there. So Karl Darlow's labelled as one of the options. He's 35 years of age, probably playing the best football of his career at this point. Goalkeepers age at a different rate to outfield players, so probably plenty of life left in Karl Darlow, but fingers crossed Leeds do the smart option here and give him a new deal going into the summer, and we can relax with that one, because outside of him, Lucas Perry's future's been questioned, Elan Meslier is leaving, and Alex Cairns set a contract. So it'd be ideal if Leeds didn't have to go out and sign 2 or 3 new goalkeepers this summer. Yeah, let's move on and talk about a player Leeds might be interested in signing though. So according to an apparent exclusive from the Express and Star, Leeds United are said to hold strong interest in Wolverhampton Wanderers defender Ladislav Krejci. He had a bit of an eventful day yesterday, Krejci, upset Brendan Aronson, and it was a busy defensive performance from him against Leeds United. But despite Wolves' position in the Premier League this season and some of the performances they put in this year, Krejci has been described as one of the most promising talents in the Premier League and has been a major part of the Czech Republic's defence this year. He played very, very well against Ireland in our games against them and scored against Ireland as well. The report states that Krejci could be a replacement for Pascal Struijk this summer, who's heading into the final year of his contract at Leeds. And there is a little bit of concern around and uncertainty around Pascal Struijk's immediate future at Leeds United, although it has been said that Leeds United will plan to offer Pascal Struijk a new deal this summer. But Krejci is 26 years of age, so he's the same age as Pascal Struijk. They have more similarities as well. They average the same amount of tackles per game, and they both have the same aerial duel win percentage of 56%. From a passing perspective, this is where there's some slight differences. Krejci in his own half averages 92%, where Struijk averages 94%, and in the opposition half, Krejci averages 71%, where Struijk averages 79%. But Krejci has clocked up 2 goals and 1 assist for Wolverhampton Wanderers this season, and has a whopper of a long throw in his pocket as well. Now, that's where the credible part of this story needs to be parked for a minute, and we move into the more circumstantial area of the link, because Team Talk have gotten involved in this as well, and Team Talk say that talks between Leeds United and Wolverhampton Wanderers around Krejci have already taken place. But they go not just one step further, they go 3 steps further on this. They also say the Leeds have inquired around Wolverhampton Wanderers Matthias Mane, João Gomez and Andre. Now, I can't see Leeds bringing in 4 players from Wolves, But I think you're probably looking at Joe Gomez or Andre as being what they've inquired about, if they've inquired about them at all. Matthias Mane had a very impressive game against Leeds United yesterday. Saturday. He's a very, very talented young player and physical player as well, and could be one that I'd have absolutely no problem with Leeds nicking. And Krejci's got some very standout performances this year as well, so he's not a bad player despite where they are in the league. And again, going back to James Justin, Jayden Bogle, players that were relegated with sides from the Premier League, it's not always the individual players that are at fault for relegations, but it's an interesting one. I don't know how those. I mean, Joe Gomez is a very tidy footballer, and I thought he had a good game against Leeds as well. Andre as well, but again, it's one or the other for me. But I mean, yeah, Joe Gomez is a very good midfielder. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll get into the proper rumour mill territory now, and we'll talk about a returning rumour, which we all knew was going to pop up at some point, and it's Gustavo Hamer. And according to Alan Nixon in The Sun, he says that Gustavo Hamer will leave Sheffield United this summer for a cut price deal believed to be anything less than £6 million. And there are clubs interested in him, and one of the clubs that's said to have maintained an interest in Gustavo Hamer is Leeds United. Now, this season, Hamer's got 6 goals and 11 assists in a very poor Sheffield United season. Last season, he managed 10 goals and 8 assists. I think he was the EFL Player of the Year as well. And the season before that in the Premier League, his only season in the Premier League, he clocked up 5 goals and 8 assists. Leeds have had a long-standing interest in Gus Hamer, but it's never really been a priority target for us outside that first year in the Championship. Since Leeds have gone into the Premier League over last summer, it kind of felt like he was if we can't get our main targets, we'll try and grab him late on. And we didn't get him. There was said to be strong moves by Leeds on deadline day in the summer to try and get Gustavo Hamer, and it didn't happen. And even Sheffield United's social media account had a little pop at Leeds when the window closed. So, yeah, look, an interesting one. I don't know if I think that that's the direction Leeds are going anymore. Maybe they were at one point, but I'm not so sure about it. But, yeah, look, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll add it to the list, but it is coming from Alan Nixon, so, do you know what I mean? Stage. Anyway, look, folks, that'll be it for me today with the news. We're back tonight with the podcast, myself, Paul, and Jerry, to digest the weekend's action and look ahead to Leeds' game against Bournemouth on Wednesday. Outside of that, don't forget to have a look at Finalysis in your app store. Use the link down below to download the app, or you can use the QR code that was on screen at the start of today's video. I would really appreciate that. Outside that, enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you later. See ya.